Let's start chapter 18, drawing of solids. So in this chapter we'll discuss two things. One is drawing. So we just cover a little theory about drawing. And the second we discuss humidification. So you are familiar with the concept of drying. So drying means we need to remove the moisture content. So there are two ways. So the removal of so let's talk about first the drying. So the removal of moisture content, okay. Of moisture or liquid from solid material. So drying are generally classified. So there are two drying methods basically. One is called mechanically, and another one is thermal. So mechanically, you know already how to. We just need to squeeze the thing, and the moisture will go out. In case of thermal, we need to provide the heat. Okay, by force, you can say by force and by heat. So the purpose or the application of drying, so the application it is used in so many ways, so many places like pharmaceutical, we have detergents, paper industry, paper and fibers product. So dyes, stuff like catalysts, and maybe films and coatings. In milk product somehow. So biological material, biological material. So these are the applications. So what is the purpose of drying? So purpose is to improve. So purpose is to improve what? Quality of product. Then we can have packaging is easily packed. We know dry masalas make so many dishes. Dry masalas are packed for a long period of time. Easily transporting. Easily you can transport it, guys. Will be light, it's easy to transport rather than in wet material. And fabricating, you can easily fabricate dry material in different shapes. Preservating, so you can preserve because there is no moisture, so preservating, so you can preserve for long period of time. I gave example of like food materials. So these are the basic stuff for the drawing. Then let's talk about the classification of drawing. Classification of drawing process. So there are two ways. One is based on mode of operation. Which includes atmospheric or vacuum. The second one is either it's continuous or batch. So of course you can see batch is for the more capacity, batch is for the low capacity, so less production. And continuous is for like less production means 500 pound per hour is production rate. So in case of continuous it will be more than 22,000 pound per hour production rate. And of course little we car, the cost is matter, but anyway, so there are two ways mode of operation. And then we have based on second is mode of heat transfer. So mode of heat transfer. So mode of heat transfer then can categorize into 5. The first one is indirect heat. You can say direct heat. You can say direct heat or direct drying or direct heat. So this is very well known, called convective or adiabatic. So direct heat means like you're putting something like your clothes, putting outside in outside on the wall or wherever. So because of the dry hot air, the clothes become dry. So the clothes becomes dry. So this is why called convective heat transfer, like so this is also called direct heat. So you're applying the direct heat. So this is example of direct heat drying, that your wet product is directly contacted with the air, and the dry product you can get. The second one you can see from here is indirect drying. So indirect drying, it means you have some material in it, like metal, like you are drying inside a pan and you're drying something by applying heat from the bottom. So this is the second one is called indirect heat. So indirect heat is called conduction or non-adiabatic. So you can say direct contact, with hot gas or air. So this is indirect contact. So you can see, so usually this one operates at vacuum. So indirect contact, so usually this is operate at vacuum usually. So operate at vacuum, and you see usually operate at, you can say, atmospheric. And then we have third one is called, the third one is called radiation or radiant energy. So you are getting the radiation from energy source. Like so usually no contact of medium or surface. Like here in direct we have contact with surface, in indirect we have contact with surface, indirect we have contact with the medium like air or hot gas. So like you can say energy source means sun. Basically you can the second last is microwave energy. So the concept is same as radiatant, but their wavelengths are different for the microwave compared to the radiation from the sun. This is the only difference. And the last is freeze drying. So in this, we first, the material is gets freezed, then sublime. So first freeze the material and then we need to sublime. So this is two-way process. So these are the basically based on mode of heat transfer and basically made of mode of operation. We have continuous, we have batch, and so we just cover little so that we can have. Then we can talk about. So most commonly among them is the direct heat. These are the most commonly used. You can say most commonly. Where air is the drying medium, and commonly the liquid water is trapped inside the most commonly used, where the liquid water is trapped that we need to remove. Like in industry we have and induced draft, fan draft, this kind of stuff. Or maybe in paper industry they make paper with pulp and then remove the moisture by heating, by contacting with the air or some material as well. So then let's see, we discuss, we are here batch and continuous. So let's see, so we have batch dryer. So there are two types of batch dryers. So one is called tray dryer, and another one is called agitated dryer. Agitator. So let's talk about this one. This is oldest, the first one, and simplest. You can see the diagrams. I'm just giving you few points to so that you can have a distinguish between them. But you can see the detailed diagrams in my lecture notes, how they look like. So they are, of course, it's a batch, so low production. So this one, so usually they operate at vacuum, and vacuum operation and indirect heat. So if we talk about the agitated dryers, so agitated dryers also, of course, after that also they operate at under vacuum usually. So indirect heating also. With agitation. Here the trays are struck, the stationary. Here these trays are agitating, so they are moving. Okay. So they are mainly used for the explosive material that oxidize. Explosive material, explosive or dusty materials, are the material that agglomerate. Uh, so the maximum product temperature is 30 centigrade, so not so high temperature. Temperature less than say 30 centigrade, because they are explosive materials. So and also they deal with the material that are toxic. So moisture that is valuable, toxic, and flammable. So the agitated dryer then classified into three. One is called pan dryer. The second one is called double cone. or tumbler. The third one is called paddle agitator. So pan dryer is basically used for liquid, slurry, or pastes. Tumbler dryer is mainly used for same, but we need mild agitation is needed. And the last one is this is paddle agitator dryers is widely used. I already told you the where they have different applications. So this means so these are the properties, and then where they use the agitator dryers, and then they also categorize into three: pan dryer, double cone dryer, and paddle dryer, paddle agitator dryer. So there are only two batch dryers, and there are about nine. There are about nine continuous dryers. Continuous dryers. Let's talk about the first one. So you can see the more detail inside the in my slide. The first one is called tunnel dryer. So this is the oldest and simplest, like the tray dryer in batch system. Okay. So they use for any material, but no dust formation. While because it's moving and it's continuous, so there is a belt on which the dry material is dried. So while moving the belt speed is not so high that it's producing some dust. Okay. The second one is belt and band. Belt or band. So you can see from this name, it's made of belt or is band. There is a band, so that's why. And the band has some perforation also. Sometimes they also have some perforations. So where this is used, they are used for ideal for slurries, paste, sticky materials. So belt is perforated to get more heat. Perforated to get more heat from the. So the size of the perforation may be depending on 30 mesh to 2 inches. Mesh means how much how much square, how much the gaps in a linear square inch. So it means one linear inch, if there is 30 holes, it means that has 30 mesh. The third one is called turbo tray dryer. So the turbo tray dryer is dwell when space is limited. So we need to use the, so headroom is available. Like building, less space surrounding, so we have to go in a vertical direction up, so that they can have a and they can have a clear and they can have and space they can save the space. So of course there is from its name you can see it's a turbo, so it means it's rotating, so it's rotating at so the shelves, because they are in like stacks like a building, so they have different shelves, so shelves are rotating at speed of 1 rpm. Okay, the fourth one is direct heat rotary. So direct heat rotary is used for the flake materials, flaky materials. Where, because flaky materials are very soft, so they can easily break, so you can say where breakage is acceptable. Means like you're taking big particle of flaky material, of course when you heat it up, because of that rotation, they also break down because of the heat maybe, so because of the process they also break down into uh, small pieces, but we will not we don't have any concern whether it's big particle or small or big, so the breakage is bearable. Okay, so then we have another one is screw conveyor. So this is same function as direct heat rotary. But less popular. Then we have spouted bed. So we can again draw one line from here. Spouted bed dryer. So the spouted bed dryer is like So they use for big particle size. Particle size is comparatively big. Like how much? About 1 millimeter dia. But because this from its name is spouted, they spout it like spout like this shape. So they should be low density. So they should be uniform in size and less dense, less or low density, so that it can easily. Otherwise, so heavy, we need more power to pump them up, to throw them up. Another, the seven. Then we have eight. Is the seven one is called spray dryer. So spray dryer is mainly used for again solutions or slurries that has more than 50% moisture. So we have turbo dryer, direct heat rotary, belt and band, tunnel, screw, rotate. So two laws are there. I will try to finish them on one page, but hopefully not. The last one is called the second last is drum dryer. So the drum dryers are used also for slurry and paste. Okay, mainly used in so slurry and paste. They are also used for slurries and paste. Like